G'day cowpokes, Dubster here, standing in front of the Western Town. So I'm sitting back tonight and I'm thinking, well, I can't do anything on this city at the moment because I'm waiting for more parts to come in. I've got a ton of sets I could be building, but a silly bugger like me, I'm thinking, why not start another project? So I really want to get back to this Western Town because this is a real love for me, this Western Town. And since I found a location in the Lego room to set it up, and I've actually sort of transformed my old layout into this linear style here in the Lego room, I haven't really done a lot to finish the actual whole layout and to add to it. So what I'm thinking today is that I'm going to start looking at the mountain. So I've wanted to simulate something that we see in a lot of Western movies, the Monument Valley, the rock formations of Monument Valley. So I wanted to have a look at that, and I want to expand on the Indian camp, and I want to expand on the river. So I've got a lot of crap sitting on the table. I haven't touched a thing since picking up the camera, so I've got to tidy all this up, and I've got to work out how I'm going to shape the river section. And my original thought was I was going to build more like a backdrop, a mountain ridge backdrop to the river. So working with the parts that I have ordered in for this project, my original plan was to go about 25 bricks high. So I've got a stack of bricks right there to indicate the height that I could build this mountain. But as I've put that in, just to have a look at what I think about that height, I'm looking along the Western Town, and I've got the fort that's nice and high, I've got the livery that's nice and high, I've got the big old hotel down the end, and the mountain's going to be no higher than those buildings. And so I'm kind of thinking I need to change up my original thought of having this more as a backdrop and actually try and recreate the best that I can the actual peaks and valleys that we see in Monument Valley. So my original plan, like I said, was just a mountain ridge, and then I was going to build a peak over on this side in the Indian camp. But I'm actually thinking now that I need to probably do that more on the backside as well. So what my plan is the river mouth is going to be more over here. Well, not the river mouth, but where the river comes into the Western Town. So I've got to move this plate over and work out how I'm going to shape that. And the Indian camp is going to come right back to the end of the table here. So I've got quite a bit of work to do here just to tidy up and work out how I'm going to set these plates up before I get started. So I'm going to jump into that. That's my plan. I don't know how far we'll get today, but we'll give it a crack and we'll find out. Alrighty, I've cleared the table off and I've shuffled some plates around to get the shape of the river. Now, my original plan was to, just like here how the river runs out, was just have the river run out this side here, which would give me more land to work with to build this mountain ridge right along the back. But because I'm going to do peaks and valleys, I figure I don't need as much land along the back, so I thought it would actually look better if I had a bit of an S-bend to the river. So that's what I've worked out that I'm going to do here. So I'm going to start with having one high peak over on that side there, and then I'm going to put one peak on the front side here with the Indian camp. One thing that I'm really wanting to have a look at changing for the river is I like how I have it raised for the Indian camp and it comes down onto the river, the bank. On this side, because the whole layout is flat, I've basically just had to create a bank. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do along here. I'm just going to work that out later. But on this side, where it goes up to the mountains, I want to have it set higher. So basically, I'm going to replace all of these plates. Now, if we have a look here, and just before I say this, all these pieces, all these tan pieces, I can then use coming off the mountain. Now, if we have a look here, I've got this half plate. So if we look, there's a half plate a full plate, a half plate, and then 2 more full plates down to where that stack of bricks are. And now if we look at my table, there's a full plate, a full plate, a half plate, a full plate, and a half plate. So that is that whole section recreated here in base plates. What I've done is I've cut up some base plates and I've used blue along the front for the mountain to come down on. So I actually can widen the river a little bit if I want. If I want to close it up and get a bit more angle on it, I've got the blue to play with. I'm not worrying about having, you know, a tan plate straight onto a blue plate. So I've actually got a bit more room to work with. So we can see that that's starting to slope around now, just in the shape of the bricks, and I'll use those plates from the river to help come out and just build up to that. So I've made a bit of a start here, and that's where I'm going, 4 bricks high. So my plan is to go 4 bricks high, sort of right along, see how far I can get with what I've got, because what's going to happen is basically that's probably going to be the size. I've just put them there to show you. That's probably going to be the size of this peak, and then the valley will be here, but the height, that's 4 bricks high here, the height of that will be the bottom of the valley. So the dark tan will run right across, and then I'll start changing up the colors, but the valley will be 4 bricks high. And what I want to do is have that step down and kind of be like a track where they can come down riding along, down through the valley and along the river. So I'm pretty close now. Well, I'm actually ready just to start really hooking in and building this mountain, and I'm hoping the using these limited amount of bricks, and mainly 2x4 bricks, it should be a pretty quick process. Here's hoping. So the first peak is complete, and I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. So now I've just got to keep cracking on down further. What I've done here, obviously I have to start shaping out onto the water, make it a bit more smoother. This will be the valley, so again I'll have to shape down here, and they can come riding down the valley down to the river. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to keep going off the cuff and see how it turns out. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the look. And yeah, it was pretty quick to do. I actually watched the Wallabies have a win against Argentina while I was doing it, so that was pretty cool. And yeah, so, well, I think that will probably do me for tonight. It's getting quite late. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you think of this mountain peak, how you think it's going to look in the western town. I really think it's going to add to the western town, really add a nice feature. So yeah, please put your thoughts down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Let's have a bit of a chat. Like I said, if you want to see more, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Give the video a thumbs up, all that good stuff. I'd really appreciate it. A big thank you for taking the time to watch. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.